There's a real sense of tension building around the New York Yankees right now. And it all starts with a situation that is quietly turning into one of the most intriguing roster battles of this spring. While most eyes are naturally drawn to the biggest names, something much more subtle is unfolding behind the scenes, and it could have a real impact on how this team looks when the season officially begins. Veteran infielder Paul DeJong has made a decision that says a lot about both his mindset and the current state of the roster. Instead of walking away and testing the market, he is choosing to stay put and fight for his place, embracing the uncertainty and betting on his own ability to carve out a role. That decision becomes even more interesting when you consider everything he went through recently. Not long ago, he was trying to stabilize his career after a difficult stretch that included a frightening injury. Taking a fastball to the face is the kind of moment that can derail everything, and for a while it did. Time on the injured list, a long recovery process, and the challenge of getting rhythm back at the plate all played a part in numbers that did not reflect his true potential. Even so, there's still a belief within the organization that a player with his experience can provide value, especially in a moment when depth is not just important, it is absolutely critical. And that is where things get really interesting for the Yankees. The left side of the infield is not exactly stable right now, and that opens a door that might not have existed under normal circumstances. With Anthony Volpe working his way back from injury and expected to miss the start of the campaign, the team is being forced to reshuffle responsibilities. Oswaldo Cabrera is another name in the mix, but after missing significant time, there's a real debate about whether he should be getting everyday reps in the minors instead of sitting on the bench at the highest level. Development versus immediate contribution is always a delicate balance, and the Yankees seem to be weighing that very carefully. Meanwhile, Ambrosio brings versatility, but there are still questions about how comfortable he is handling certain roles on a consistent basis. Ryan McMahon adds another layer to the puzzle, potentially being asked to stretch his defensive responsibilities in ways that were not originally planned. When you start connecting all these dots, you begin to see why a player like DeJong suddenly becomes much more relevant. It is not just about what he has done in the past. It is about being in the right place at the right time when opportunity appears. There's also the broader context of roster flexibility, which plays a huge role in decisions like this. The Yankees have several players with options, others without, and that creates pressure points across the depth chart. A single injury or a slow start from one of the regulars could completely change the equation overnight. In that kind of environment, having a veteran who understands the grind of a long season and can step in without hesitation becomes incredibly valuable. It is not flashy, it is not headline-grabbing, but is often the difference between stability and chaos over the course of 162 games. At the same time, nothing about this situation is guaranteed. The clock is ticking, and there are built-in decision points that could force a change if things do not go as hoped. If opportunities do not materialize soon, there may come a moment where staying no longer makes sense. But for now, the message is clear. DeJong is not backing down, and in a clubhouse full of expectations and pressure, that kind of determination can resonate more than people realize. And while all of this is unfolding on the infield side, there is another storyline developing that is impossible to ignore, one that has completely captured the attention of everyone following this team closely. Because while the Yankees are trying to patch together solutions in one area, they might be witnessing the rise of something truly special on the mound, something that could change the trajectory of the season if it continues at this level. While the infield situation continues to evolve, all eyes suddenly shift to the mound, where an unexpected storyline is beginning to steal the spotlight in a way nobody saw coming. In the middle of a spring filled with cautious optimism and calculated decisions, a young arm is forcing the entire organization to pay attention, not with hype alone, but with undeniable performance. New York Yankees fans have seen promising prospects before, but what is happening right now feels different because the dominance is not occasional. It is consistent, and it is happening against real competition. The name on everyone's lips is Carlos Lagrange, a pitcher whose raw velocity alone would be enough to generate excitement. But it is the way he is combining that power with control that is turning heads inside the organization. Reaching triple digits on the radar gun is impressive on its own, but doing it repeatedly while still commanding the strike zone is what separates potential from something much more dangerous. Hitters are not just late on his fastball. They're completely overmatched, swinging through pitches that seem to explode past them before they can even adjust. And it is not just about speed. What is making his performances so impactful is the complete package. The secondary pitches are doing exactly what they need to do, disrupting timing, forcing uncomfortable swings, and allowing him to dictate every at-bat. When hitters try to sit on the fastball, they get caught off guard. When they adjust, he is already one step ahead. That level of sequencing is rare for someone still trying to break into the highest level of the sport. And it is a big reason why his outings are starting to feel less like experiments and more like statements. Even more impressive is how little solid contact opponents are managing against him. When the ball is put in play, it lacks authority, lacking the kind of exit velocity that typically leads to damage. That tells you everything about how uncomfortable hitters are in the box. They are not just being beaten, they are being controlled, and that is the kind of presence that can change a game before it even fully develops. It is the type of performance that forces coaches, teammates, and even veterans to stop and take notice. Inside the clubhouse, the reactions have been impossible to ignore. Aaron Boone has openly acknowledged how surprising it is to see such advanced command paired with elite stuff, emphasizing that the ability to recover in counts and finish hitters is what truly elevates a pitcher. Meanwhile, Austin Wells has gone a step further, making it clear that from his perspective behind the plate, this is not just future potential, it is present-day impact waiting to happen. When a catcher speaks that confidently about a pitcher's readiness, it carries weight, especially in a competitive environment like this one. But just as quickly as the excitement builds, reality steps in with a decision that has sparked a wave of reactions across the fan base. Despite everything he has shown, despite the numbers, despite the eye test, the Yankees have chosen to send Lagrange back down, opting for patience over immediate reward. It is the kind of move that always divides opinion. On one side, there are those who see a missed opportunity, a chance to inject energy and talent directly into the roster. On the other, there are voices urging caution, pointing to the long-term development of a player who has yet to experience the full pressure of a regular season at the highest level. This decision reflects a broader philosophy that the organization seems committed to following. Development is not just about talent. It is about timing, and rushing that process can sometimes do more harm than good. The Yankees are clearly aware of the expectations that come with wearing that uniform, especially in a city where every performance is magnified. Throwing a young pitcher into that environment without complete preparation is a risk they are not willing to take, at least not yet. It may not be the popular choice, but it is a calculated one. Still, the debate is far from over. Every dominant outing in the minors will only add fuel to the conversation, increasing the pressure on the front office to reconsider. And if injuries or inconsistencies begin to surface at the major league level, the calls for his promotion will only grow louder. Because at the end of the day, talent like this does not stay hidden for long. It demands opportunity, and sooner or later, that opportunity tends to arrive whether a team is fully ready or not. At the same time, this entire situation adds another layer of intrigue to what is shaping up to be a crucial season for the Yankees. Expectations are high, the margin for error is small, and every decision is being made under a microscope. Balancing the need to win now with the responsibility of building for the future is never easy, and this is a perfect example of that challenge playing out in real time. What makes this entire situation even more intense is the timing. The Major League Baseball season is right around the corner, and every roster decision now carries a different kind of weight. There is no more room for experimentation once the games start counting, which means the front office is trying to anticipate every possible scenario before it unfolds. That includes not only evaluating current performance, but also projecting how players will respond when the pressure truly kicks in. For a young pitcher like Carlos Lagrange, that projection becomes one of the most difficult parts of the equation. There is also the undeniable factor of experience. something that cannot be rushed no matter how electric the talent may be. Facing hitters in spring environments is one thing, but stepping onto a major league mound in a packed stadium is an entirely different challenge. The intensity rises, the mistakes get punished instantly, and the margin for error becomes razor thin. That is the environment the Yankees are trying to prepare Lagrange for, even if it means delaying what many believe could already be a successful debut. At the same time, the current pitching staff is not without its own questions. Even with established names leading the rotation, consistency is never guaranteed over a long season. The physical toll alone can change everything in a matter of weeks, and that is why depth becomes such a critical asset. The Yankees are fully aware that having someone like Lagrange ready and building momentum in the minors could eventually become one of their biggest advantages when the inevitable challenges begin to surface. And then there's the psychological side of all this, which often gets overlooked. Confidence is a fragile thing, especially for young players trying to prove themselves. By allowing Lagrange to continue dominating in a lower-pressure environment, the organization may be trying to strengthen that confidence to a point where it becomes unshakable. Instead of risking early struggles on the biggest stage, they're choosing to let him build a foundation that could sustain him once he finally gets the call. Meanwhile, back on the offensive side, the Yankees are still trying to piece together a lineup that can withstand early season adversity. The absence of key contributors and the uncertainty surrounding certain positions mean that adaptability will be tested immediately. Players will be asked to step into roles they may not have fully prepared for, and that kind of flexibility often defines how successful a team can be over the first stretch of games. It is another reason why every roster spot is being evaluated with such precision. There is also a growing sense that internal competition is pushing everyone to a higher level. When players see someone like Lagrange performing at such an elite level, it creates a ripple effect throughout the clubhouse. Pitchers want to match that intensity, hitters want to prove they can handle it, and the overall standard begins to rise. That kind of internal pressure can be incredibly valuable, especially for a team with championship aspirations. At the same time, the fan base continues to play a massive role in shaping the narrative around these decisions. In a place like New York City, expectations are not just high, they are relentless. Every move is analyzed, every statistic is debated, and every performance becomes part of a larger conversation. The reaction to Lagrange being sent down is just the latest example of how quickly opinions can form and spread, adding another layer of intensity to an already demanding environment. And as all these storylines continue to develop simultaneously, one thing becomes very clear. The Yankees are walking a fine line between urgency and patience, between trusting what they see right now and believing in what could be built over time. It is a balancing act that will define not just the early part of the season, but potentially the entire trajectory of their campaign as new opportunities and unexpected challenges continue to emerge. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Whispers are growing louder across the baseball world as a stunning rumor begins to take shape. A marquee star from the Chicago White Sox could be on his way to the New York Yankees. While no official confirmation has surfaced, the buzz alone has already ignited excitement in the Bronx, where anticipation spreads like wildfire among fans hungry for a new icon. Insiders suggest that discussions, though still shadowy and unverified, have gained unexpected momentum. The Yankees, long known for their aggressive pursuit of elite talent, appear once again ready to make statement. Adding a proven star from Chicago would not only reinforce their lineup, but also send a clear message to the rest of the league. The Bronx Bombers are not content with standing still. The player in question, widely regarded as one of the brightest talents on the White Sox roster, brings a blend of power, consistency, and charisma that could electrify Yankee Stadium. His potential arrival would instantly reshape expectations, turning an already formidable squad into a headline-dominating powerhouse. Around the league, reactions range from disbelief to intrigue. Rival executives are said to be monitoring the situation closely, unsure whether this is a genuine negotiation or a carefully planted narrative designed to stir the market. Meanwhile, fans in New York are embracing the possibility, envisioning towering hits and unforgettable moments under the bright lights of the Bronx. Of course, until ink meets paper, everything remains firmly in the realm of speculation. Baseball has seen its share of dramatic twists, and rumors of this magnitude often walk a fine line between reality and imagination. Still, the mere suggestion of such a move is enough to set the tone for what could become one of the most talked about stories in the sport. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.